today's video is going to be this beautiful terracotta daily wear set in lovely grey and pink. I start off with a slab of 0.6 centimeters in thickness and I smoothen using my fettling knife. Using a round shaped cookie cutter, I cut out the shape. I leave that aside. I just need a small strip of this for the studs. The stud thickness is going to be 0.3 centimeters. Once again, I smoothen this using my fettling knife. Using a round shaped cookie cutter that's appropriate for a stud size, I cut out a pair. I smoothen the edges. I'm just using a little bit of oil. I've drawn those parallel lines with my fettling knife. And this kind of a pattern is made using a short rigid blade. It's a really easy pattern, comes out beautifully. Also, if you're a beginner, I think this is going to be a really easy set for you to try and recreate. I repeat the same design on the pendant as well. The clay work is rather easy. You can always minimize on the painting if you are a beginner and choose to keep it simple if you wish. The hooks that I'm using for the pendant are gauge 24, is gauge 24. I'm going to be using I've just put a ghungru bead, just keeping it simple as possible. Now that I have the pendant as well as the stud ready, it's time to work on the bead. I'm using the Jhumka mold, the 6th hole in this. I'm cutting out a pair. These are going to turn into cylindrical beads with somewhat similar design. I'll be repeating a similar design that I did on the pendant on these cylindrical beads as well. I make sure I tap both the top as well as the base of the bead just so that they don't cave in. Now that the size is equal, time to design. Once again, if you observe, the entire designing in this is basically done using my fettling knife and this short rigid blade. Just trying to be as slow as possible so that I don't deform or spoil the shape of the bead. I add 2 more lines using my fettling knife. Using a brass tube that's lightly oiled, I just make a hole through the beads. Now that the set is ready, this would take a couple of days for the entire set to dry, and once it dries, it's fired in an electric kiln. Once the set is fired, we can paint upon this. So if you see, the set is fired, it's got a beautiful, nice terracotta color. I've also laid out the paints and I'm just going to be using these 4 beads to assemble along with the cylindrical beads. The paints obviously are going to be grey and pink, and I'm also going to be adding some gold and black. The paint brushes, if you see, you can clearly see the numbers that are mentioned. I start off with a base coat of black, diluted black. That's just thick gray paint. I have not diluted that, and using my fingertips I just lightly dab gray on just half of the pendant, and you'll slowly see that the design emerges. I roll the bead as well. Once again, I repeat, this paint is not diluted, it's directly from the tube. And there you go. The beads are also painted. Nice even coat. I just cover up wherever there's a little bit of gray that's, well, I don't want gray on the other half of the pendant, so I'm just covering it up with black. Applying gold to the ghungru bead. Using pink, I'm going to be adding the rest of the designs. Once again, this is something that is totally left to an individual's creativity. You can choose to do something like this, or you can also choose to do anything at all, or leave it as it is. Adding a few little dots in gold. This is just a really easy daily wear jewelry. It's quite nice. Painting the beads in gold. Once again, if you are allergic, go by using a brush and paint each of the beads individually. They are just 4 beads, so you can always paint them. Now that the paint has completely dried, it's time to varnish. This is the product I use. I give it a good shake and transfer a little bit of the contents into a bowl or a container. And using a soft bristle brush, I apply a generous coat all over the pendant, the bead, everything. Time to assemble. I start off, this is obviously once the varnish has dried well. I use E6000 and I attach the stud post. I make sure I give it a good press. This just helps it stay intact. I'm using a black nylon cord for this, for assembling this particular set. The thickness is about 3 to 4 mm. The assembling for this is pretty straightforward. It's just a gold bead, the cylindrical bead, followed by the gold bead and then the pendant. I knot the ends so that the bead doesn't move. You can also try and just put in a crimp cover if you do not want to use this knotting method. Putting a wooden bead through both the cords together. Again, knotting both the cords together. Now I'm not doing any tassels for this one. This one is just using a crimp cover as shown. I gently close it, followed by a pink wooden bead, and then once again a crimp cover. Now, because this is a slightly thick cord, I know that the crimp cover stays very well intact. It doesn't move, or it just stays intact and stays put. So just to be doubly sure of it, I also just burn the tips. And there you go. The set is ready. It's an easy set, appropriate, like I said, appropriate for beginners. It's a beautiful piece. So I really hope you all enjoyed watching this video. Please do let me know what you think of the video in the comment section. And as always, I'll get back to each and every one of you. Thank you so much for your time, and thank you so much for watching.